go for sailing. Some folks like
Water,
to ski.
but usually suspended off the bottom and sometimes near the surface, is the kingfish or king mackerel. Kingfish can be caught year-round, again depending on what part of the Gulf you're fishing. Except in isolated situations, the king is a highly migratory species. Therefore, catching him is usually much a matter of timing. Now, the trip we're recommending is the offshore oil rigs off the coast of Louisiana. These rigs hold the kings as long as any single reef or structure we know of. Determine the current direction and fish down current of the oil rig legs by anchoring and then chumming with cigar minnows cut up into smaller pieces. Your bait should be live bait fish, free line to drift behind the boat. The entire summer and fall months are good, but to further pinpoint a more specific time, we're recommending the month of September. The preferred tackle would be a heavier action graphite casting rod about 6 feet long with a larger casting reel such as an Ambassador 6000 spooled with 30-pound mono line. Continue to shift positions at the rigs and try different oil rigs until you find action, but allow a few minutes at each location for the chum to work. In and about the same depths as the king mackerel roam the cobia, called ling or lemonfish. The shark-shaped cobia is a sucker for shade. During most of the warmer months anywhere in the Gulf, you can find him hiding underneath floating objects on or near the surface, even beneath boats. Another phenomenon about the cobia is its relationship with large sharks. Catch a 200-plus pound shark, and you'll sometimes find one or several cobia following. The trip we're recommending is unusual in many respects. It's during the spring annual run of migrating cobia along the beaches around Destin, Florida. Destin, located near Fort Walton Beach in Florida's Panhandle, is world famous for its springtime cobia fishing. The month of April usually brings on the peak of this migration when the fish are actually sighted running just off the beach and close by anglers using large spinning rods and jigs. Since April is a month of unpredictable weather in this part of the Gulf, the exact day can be critical. The method used is to travel east or west parallel to the beach just offshore of the sandbars, watching for the dark shadow of the migrating cobia. Polaroid glasses are a must, and a tuna tower much preferred. Once sighted, you should cast the jig in front of the fish as close as possible. Once hooked, the other cobia will usually follow and can be multicast to and hooked. A stiff 6-foot graphite spinning rod with a medium-sized open-faced reel spooled with 30-pound monofilament is recommended for tackle. The jig should weigh about 1 to 1.5 ounces. A hair jig rigged with a 4-inch-long plastic curly tail grub. We prefer a white jig with a red-colored trailer. Learn from a good charter boat captain and crew, of which there are plenty at Destin, at least on your first trip or your first day. Dolphin, the small ones called chicken dolphin, the larger females called cow dolphins, and the larger males called bull dolphins are a beautiful warm water species that can be found in practically any depth of water, but they prefer warm water. Similar to the cobia, the dolphin likes to hide beneath any floating debris, particularly grass beds and grass lines. He normally feeds on or near the surface. The smaller dolphin normally travel in schools. The larger males and females travel in pairs, singly though at other times. The trip we're recommending is South Pass, Louisiana, near New Orleans. Located just off the mouth of the big Mississippi River during the month of June, almost always are large grass beds that the dolphin prefer. They seem to be especially prolific here due to the abnormally large amounts of grass, thanks to the mighty Mississippi. Locate a tide line or a floating grass bed in water from 30 to 300 fathoms deep, and you should find plenty of dolphin. Use Polaroid glasses, a tuna tower or flying bridge if possible, and cruise around the area and determine where the largest concentration of dolphin are. Circle back to the area and using a long, stiff spinning rod, cast a plastic tail jig to the edge of the grass line, allowing it to sink just a bit, then speedily retrieve it back to the boat. Now hold on tight. We suggest a 20-pound mono line for the most sport with a short mono leader and a 1/2 to 3/4 ounce jig, red head with chartreuse or light green skirt, and a 6-inch long plastic curly tail trailer. Long, accurate cast are a must.
Bring them over on your side. The other side. Wow, man, I don't even have mine. I got a line there, a young. Put them on your side and throw them on the deck. Yeah. And Josh, just go, it's just a line.
Wahoo is found throughout the entire Gulf, so any place should be good at the right time. Our recommended trip, however, is the Texas coast from Galveston during the month of October. Fish from around 30 fathoms deep to 100 fathoms on the curve, trolling on the surface at about 10 knots. The recommended lures are the Old Hawaiian Eye, called the Islander by Tournament Tackle Company of Satellite Beach, Florida. The red and black colors work well. The lure should be rigged on 30-pound class trolling tackle with at least 10 feet of 300-pound mono-leader and 20 feet of double line. Troll by anything floating on the surface and beware of tuna, marlin, sails, and dolphin, also in the area, though generally the billfish are not quite as shallow.